Ladies and gentlemen, it is once again that time, the time where leaks are running wild for the next Call of Duty game. And it's about time that we dive in and actually look at a bunch of these, talk about what ones are real, what ones are fake, and there are a lot of real ones, and for a good reason. It appears as though this week is actually going to be the reveal for Call of Duty 2021 happening on Thursday, and we have a very, very good reason to believe that, which we're going to dive into. We have actual leaks that came out yesterday giving us information about games. There's been leaks from inside Warzone, all of which I'm actually able to show you. Now, I've been very, very careful this year to avoid any of the fake news revolving around the next Call of Duty game, and I wanted to break it down all in one video in this week's episode of the Call of Duty Weekly Reload, which normally we dive into everything coming over the next week, coming over the next month. But this week, I wanted to look at everything specifically that we know about Call of Duty Vanguard and all of the leaks that we have received so far. So we're going to dive into that, but first, let's hear from today's video sponsor. So for those of you who have been around the channel over the past year, you'll know that we've been partnered up with CDL over the entire season, but with Major 5 coming to an end, we now move on to playoffs. The bracket has been made and teams will now be fighting for that final spot in champs and their final shot at that $1.2 million prize pool. Now, if you want to check out all of this action, you can click the link down in the description. The action will be happening from August 19th to August 22nd, starting at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And simply by clicking that link down below, tuning in, and if you have your Call of Duty account linked with the CDL YouTube channel, you can actually receive in-game rewards right in Call of Duty, in Warzone, in Black Ops Cold War, and you can use them directly in game simply by watching the CDL. So the brackets have been made. I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say down below. Who are you cheering for? Who do you think is going to win? Now, on top of that, if you want to check out all the action live, you can purchase your tickets. There's a link down below. You can go check it out. You can get yourself a playoff pass or a ticket for an individual day like the championship Sunday. So if you want to check that out, click the link down below. But as I said before, if you want to check out all that action, click the link down below. And thank you to the CDL for sponsoring the channel. So to start things out with Call of Duty Vanguard, yesterday I was sent something by Activision, and it was this. I know that this happened very, very quickly, and there's not much to break down there other than a plane being crashed on the beach, but this was called the Art of Destruction Pacific Front. So specifically looking at the Pacific Front during World War II, we also see a patch on a jacket for Task Force Vanguard, hinting at the name Call of Duty Vanguard. But as it turns out, some other people were also sent some other trailers as well. So this was one specifically sent to Australian creators, and as far as this one goes, it appears to be focused on the North African front during World War II. Again, we see a patch for Task Force Vanguard, but it brings up some ideas that are pretty interesting, seeing two very different locations. But again, there was more. So this next one was sent to Russian creators, and as far as this one goes, we don't see much. We see some sniper bullets, we see a snowy area with a train, we see a sniper rifle, and even a character on a poster in the background, which will come up later, which we will talk about. However, this one appears to be showing the Eastern Front during World War II, and once again, the thing that's similar with all of these teasers is the same patch for Task Force Vanguard. But there was one final teaser. Now, this one appears to be for the Western Front during World War II, but this is actually one of the ones we get the most information for. Similarly, we once again have the Task Force Vanguard patch, but we also get a name. We see a name of Sergeant Kingsley, which is pretty interesting because out of all of these, it is the only one that we actually see a name written anywhere. And that was the end of the teasers yesterday. However, there was one that was leaked earlier via Warzone, and it was a little bit of a different ending to your normal Call of Duty game. And here's what it was. So essentially what is happening here is at the end of the Warzone game, people are rappelling up to the helicopter when one of the characters actually gets sniped. Then we see this female character with a sniper rifle, a World War II era sniper rifle, who has shot the character. Now, this female character is actually the same character that you see on the poster in the Eastern Front trailer. This is the one that got sent out to the Russian creators. So once again, tying the two in together. However, this wasn't the only information that we have so far, because earlier today, we got some very solid information leaked from the PlayStation Store. So essentially on the PlayStation Store today, what we have is a ad for Call of Duty Vanguard and the reveal. And taking a closer look at it, we can see a couple of different things. First of all, this reveal takes place on August 19th at 10:30 a.m. Pacific time. So you can convert that to your own time zone, but essentially in the afternoon for most people, or evening, depending where you are in the world, on Thursday. Now, the other thing that we get from this is it says in Call of Duty Warzone. So this goes along with the leaks that Tom Henderson had way earlier, I think it was even last month, saying that the reveal is going to happen in a very similar way to what it did for Black Ops Cold War, with an event inside Warzone. So we have that to look forward to this week. And this is when we should really start to see information about this game once this reveal actually happens, very similar to how we did last year. Now, before we dive into the speculation part of things, I just wanted to address what we can take away from the various different teasers and leaks that we've seen here so far. First of all, we know about the worldwide reveal now happening this week, thanks to PlayStation and the PlayStation Store, but we also have a bunch of information based off of those teasers from yesterday. First of all, we have seen 4 different fronts. We have seen the Eastern Front, we have seen the North African Front, Pacific Front, and finally the Western Front. Now, with all of this, we've also seen the patch for Task Force Vanguard with a couple of different operators. First off, we have seen the female operator that we saw at the end of Warzone, which looks familiar to the one that we see on the poster. Whether it's the exact same one, not sure, but it looks familiar. The other one that we saw is Sergeant Kingsley. We saw that in the Western Front. So between the two of these, we know that there is Task Force Vanguard and several different operators working underneath Task Force Vanguard. Now, we can kind of extrapolate from that the story of World War II Vanguard, or just Vanguard as it seems to be, will be based out of these different fronts with different operators all operating under Task Force Vanguard. Now, let's get to the fun part. So when I say fun part, I mean leaks. This is the speculation, what people have been talking about over the past week, and there's essentially 2 big ones, and the first one is that Warzone, with the launch of Vanguard, will be getting an anti-cheat. Now, there's nothing actually to support this, no official statement by Raven or Sledgehammer or anything like that, but it's what everyone has been talking about, and at the very least, if it's not true, it'll put a lot of pressure on them to actually do that, because everyone's talking about it and everyone is supporting that. So a good start to things. But the other thing is dates. So earlier this week, Tom Henderson, the same guy that leaked that this would be coming in August, and on top of that, it would be happening in Warzone, so already a pretty good source, first of all, gave us a bunch of dates, the first of which was the 8/19 or August 19th reveal before it was actually leaked. So that lends already a lot more credibility to this tweet. But on top of this, he said on August 27th to 29th, there will be an alpha. On September 10th to 21st, so almost a whole week, there will be a PlayStation beta, followed up by a 4-day, September 16th to 20th, a beta for all players, followed up by the launch date of November the 5th, and then Season 1 will be starting on November the 23rd. So obviously this is a lot of dates, and a bunch of this would be subject to change. The main one would probably be Season 1. That would be most likely to change of these dates, but that's a lot. That is a lot of time for us to get our hands on the game, see what it's all about. So clearly they must be confident in what they have. Now, as we get more information, of course, on the 19th is when we're going to be getting oodles of information. I will be keeping you guys updated. So if you're not already subscribed to the channel, make sure you do so. On top of that, if you want to be notified whenever I upload a video, be sure to hit that little bell icon, turn notifications on, and let me know what you think of all of this down in the comments. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, it's always appreciated if you hit that like button. But as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, peace out.
We are reaching for the stars, but we're making this too hard. And I wonder